All right, now welcome to this first assessment. It's the 4-quadrant assessment, which you will see, and also called the P.O.R.O assessment. P.O.R.O standing for problem, outcome, resources, and obstacles. So I'm going to give you the big picture of it, and this is something I always use for the start of anything that's great. I use this for every client that I've ever worked with, every business that I've ever worked with. We do a New Year's Wealth and Spiritual Retreat. It's an annual retreat. We always do it at the beginning of each year. And it's the ultimate foundational tool for you to utilize when you're going to start anything that's great. So here's what we're going to do to start. First is you're going to start with step 1 is to choose your paper. I have it broken down into 15 steps. So step 1 is choose paper. I like using easel paper because you can see the big picture. It disassociates things. If you want to use a standard piece of paper, you can go ahead and do that. Those are the two main options for you. Now you can do this live right now as we're rolling this out, or feel free just to get the big picture of this so your mind has an understanding and then watch it back because it's not a one and done thing. Then you can actually pause it when you need to pause it and to really put some thought and really intention into it as well too. So I have this big easel paper to show you. Whether you have an easel paper at home or whether you have a piece of paper, go ahead and use that. So once you get your paper, the second step is choose your colors. Now, we need 4 different colors, and it's very important to choose colors because it shows the differentiation between what we're going to be doing. So I have problem as red. You don't have to, but this is what I'm choosing for this one. Problem is red. Outcomes is blue. Resources is going to be purple. And obstacles is going to be orange. Now, you don't want your problems and your outcome color really close because it will blur together. You want a differentiation, and I'll explain it more when we get it up there. So you want to get 4 colors, one that represents problems, another different color that represents outcomes, what you want instead of your problems, another color that represents resources, what you're going to need to support you with your outcomes, and 4 is obstacles, what's stopping you, blocking you, preventing you from having what you want right now. Once you get your colors, and again, you can pause at any time. Once you get your colors, you're going to pick your outcome colors, which is step 3. Now, I have blue for this one. Whether it's a piece of paper or an easel, what you're going to do is we're going to solidify the boundaries of make it a 4-quadrant assessment. Line down the middle, height-wise, and then we're going to do width-wise, right over across. So now we have 4 quadrants, and it's very, very, very important that you pick your outcome color to secure the border, so to speak, because you want your outcome color to just shine and support and surround everything. Even if it's your problems, we want this one to be all over the place, like all over containing all the other stuff. So we got 3 steps. Now we're going to write in the 4 titles with your colors. This is the outcome color. If you're going to start with this, don't write it in your problem, write it in your outcome. So I'll start with it because it's just in my hand. And you're going to write the word outcome, all capitals. Write it pretty. And outcome is what you want to get out of your coaching, out of this program. This outcome is what you want. What is the end result? So do that first. Second is going to be resources. And the outcome is going to be upper right quadrant. Resources is going to be lower right quadrant. So resources is going to be all capitals in your resource color. Make sure it's big enough but small enough so you can actually fit it in. And as you're writing along, resources are underline it. I like to put an underline with it because we're going to be writing little hash or little bullets underneath just to give you like a distinction and separation. Okay, so we got 2 down, 2 more to go. Let's pick our obstacle color, and it's going to be the lower left quadrant. You're going to write obstacle, O-B-S-T-A-C-L-E. When I first started coaching, I used to write obstacle, like IC. So OBSTICLE, but it's obstacle. That's just how it is. So in case you don't write that word too often, I didn't when I first started, now I do all the time. So we have outcome, upper right, resources, lower right, obstacle, lower left, and now problems, which is upper left. So you're gonna write problems, all capital. You have total freedom to do what you want. I just recommend following along for this first time. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, and this is what works the best. So problems, outcomes, resources, obstacles. Okay, so we got all 4 steps. Now we're gonna get into step number 5, which is starting with the problem. Okay, what I don't want for you is to write what you think is the problem. I want you to go into peripheral vision or peripheral awareness. So in mental magic, there's something called peripheral vision, peripheral awareness, or the blue dot. It comes later in this program, but this is a sneak peek. I'm just gonna create a dot here, and you can feel free to create a dot. It doesn't have to be blue. I'm just picking blue because that's the outcome color. You don't wanna pick the problem or obstacle. So here is a blue dot. It's in the center of the 4 quadrants. If you were to focus all of your attention and awareness on this blue dot right now, so that's all you're looking at is just this blue dot. So what you're doing right now is you're in what's called tunnel vision or foveal vision. If you're just focusing on this blue dot and nothing else, not even me, just this blue dot out of the whole entire universe. Now, if you were to take some deep breaths while you're looking at the blue dot, maybe 3 deep breaths. Really center yourself. At least 1 more deep breath. And while you're continuing to look at the blue dot, breathe deeply, relax the muscles around your eyes. Maybe drop your shoulders down a little bit. And you want to move in what's called peripheral vision or peripheral awareness, meaning you can look at the blue dot, but notice how far the blue lines go to the left and to the right, above and below. While you're looking at the blue dot, you can also notice the purple without moving your eyes, the blue, the red, and the orange. Without moving your eyes, while looking at the blue dot at peripheral vision, peripheral awareness, I can wave my hands over here. You can see me over here without looking directly at me. You are now in peripheral vision or peripheral awareness, and you have access to your unconscious mind. And I want you to answer from this space. It's not what you think, it's what you know. It's the first thing your unconscious mind comes up with. So I'm going to ask you this. This is pertaining to your current coaching business, your coaching practice, where you want to be, the reason why you're here, and what we're teaming up to do. Now, in that centered place, I'm going to ask you this question. Go ahead and ask your unconscious mind, or what is the first thing that comes up when I ask you, what are the problems that you're having in your coaching business and your coaching practice? The problems that you want to get rid of, you want to remove, you want to have less of, or just completely be without. So what is that your unconscious mind needs you to address so then you can have a total success in this program? You can have a total transformation and get to where you want to be. Now, you can feel free to write this right now, and I'm going to show you what that might look like. You can pause it at any point. If you're watching the recording, I'm going to write some of the problems in here. For example, you don't have to write this unless this is what comes up naturally and organically for you. These are some of the problems that talking to you and doing research and meeting with you, these are some of the problems that are coming up. So lack of confidence. This doesn't have to be all capital. And I'm just going to do a little period because we don't want to write through to the outcome. Fear of putting myself out there. This is very common things that come up that I'm hearing from you guys. Fear of putting myself out there, which is like in the media or in the real world or in front of a lot of people. Fear of rejection. Judgment. The problem is I just don't know how. These are some examples. You don't have to write these, and you can write these. I'm not necessarily giving you examples what to write, that you should write these. I'm giving you examples of anytime you do this assessment, these are the things that might come up. And if you do this 6 months, a year down the road, 3 months, they might be different. They should be different if you're evolving and growing. So we have here lack of confidence, fear of putting myself out there. You can write it in the first person, of course, for you. Rejection, fear of rejection, fear of getting judged, and I don't know how. Those are a lot of different blocks, a lot of different examples. Feel free to really go deep inside, pause it, make these little hashes, and then let's see how many that you come up with. And after you pause it, or after some time, what I want you to do, I'm going to assume or presuppose that you're sitting down. If you're using it easily, you're probably standing up. But if you're sitting down, I want you to get up right now. We need to change states. We don't want to stay in this. We want to just temporarily use that and get it off. And I want you to walk around, like literally get up right now and walk around, do some spins, spin in each direction, do a squat. I don't know, just do something that's different. I don't know if you dance like this normally, but you just want to change your emotional state. That's what we need to do. And that's one of the best ways to do it is through movement. So now that we changed your emotional state, you physically, literally, you didn't just watch me, you got up and you moved. We're going to pick your outcome color, and we're going to change our posture. If you're sitting or you're standing, maybe if you're talking about the problems, you might unconsciously sag. But when you're talking about your outcomes, lift your chest up like 1 inch at least, and it just really helps with your posture, your energy, and your motivation. So my question for your unconscious mind while you're in peripheral vision or peripheral awareness, when these problems are no longer a problem for you, once we've teamed up with our Confident Coach Blueprint, they are no longer a problem for you. What will you do with your life and your coaching business? What will you have? What will you be? When these are no longer a problem for you, that releases so much energy and time, money, waste of so many things. Now that you're freed from that, what will you do? What will you be? How will you impact people? So go ahead and write that down. I'm going to put some examples in there. You can feel free to pause or listen to me, whatever works best for you. I'm going to write some ideas or some examples of some of the outcomes that you've told me. And in no particular order, full-time coach, I'll be living my purpose, you can get as detailed. You can say I'm going to have 4 clients a week, 10 clients a week. You could quantify it. I want to earn $4,000 a week, $6,000 a week, $2,000 a week. There's nothing wrong with the financial outcome with the goal. It's just that you don't want to see your clients unconsciously as dollar signs because they're people. The dollar signs is in exchange for the services and the solutions that you're solving in their lives. So you couldn't put a monetary, I'm just going to put one up here. I'm just going to say $6,000 a month. Now, you can put anything you want in here. You can put $1 billion in there, but if you've never made $1,000 a month, maybe start with that, and then you can double it. Make it something that's really, really reasonable. We don't have a time frame on this. This is the outcome after these problems are no longer a problem. So it's not in 1 month, it's not in 2 months, it might be in a few months, might be in 6 months. We will find out together. So full-time coach, living my purpose, $6,000 a month or working with 5 clients a week. Now, I'm not necessarily getting into pricing. I'm just saying what will you be doing when you get the end result. 5 clients might not equal 6,000. I'm giving you different examples. So let's see what else. And just really happy, right? Just happy. Fulfilled. Fulfilling your life's purpose and helping other people with theirs. So we went through the problems, and this is what's your current dashboard of your life or your coaching practice, I should say. And we want to start with the problems because those are immediate and we're going to get rid of them. That's just really exciting. But then once the problems are no longer a problem, how much energy, time would free you to do all of this? Okay, now I want you to get your third color. Mine is purple for resources. Now, every time I do an assessment with myself, I pick new colors every time. I actually have my unconscious mind pick colors. You might have noticed that before we went into peripheral awareness, you might have started consciously picking your colors and you might want to start over or change it. You totally can. It needs to feel really good for you. So if you've written it with your conscious mind picking, you're like, it doesn't feel correct, pick your new colors and then start over. This is not a one and done thing. I do this often. Amanda and I do this to upgrade our lives, to get us really clear, to upgrade our business. This is something that you're going to be hopefully using the rest of your life. Okay, so now we get to our third color. Mine's purple. Curious to hear what yours is. When these problems are no longer a problem for you while you're in peripheral awareness, and you are a full-time coach, whatever your outcomes are, living your purpose, you have this much per month, you're working with this many people per week, and you feel so much joy and you feel so much fulfillment. What are the people and what are the resources you're going to need to help not only get you to where you're at, but also maintain it and support it while you're there? So who and what are you going to need to get to where you want to be? Now, of course, the Confident Coach blueprint and program. So I'm going to write Team Wrangle in there. And I'm going to give you examples because what we want to do here, we want internal resources and external resources. So what is an internal resource? I'm going to say like discipline. So that's a really good one here. Discipline, this is an example. For sure, if there's not discipline with any area of life, including this program, there's not going to get results. So discipline, consistency. So Team Wrangle, which means utilize this program, utilize the coaching, utilize the weekly meetings. That's really, really great. So what else is there? Exercise, something that's part of business, but it's really, really important that impacts it is health. So I'm going to write exercise in here. Because I know for me, the more I consistently exercise, the better moods I'm in, the better my body feels, the more energy I have, the more I can actually contribute and serve. So it's really, really important, even though we're talking about business, we're talking about like where you're headed, but this is a resource. A lot of the people, need exercise. What are the internal? So exercise is an external thing. Discipline's an internal thing. Team Wrangle will be external. What else do you need? I know one of the things in our program is in 2 assessments from now is you're going to need your higher self. People can call it God, infinite intelligence, source, creator. You have total freedom to choose whatever you decide to call it, but you do need to call it. You need to use it. So those are examples. I only gave 2 and 2. Feel free to get 6 and 6, 4 and 4. The more internal and external resources you have and that you're consciously aware of available, you're going to be looking at this, and we're actually going to be looking at this too. So every question that you have throughout the duration of the program, we're not necessarily going to look at this sheet, but we're going to have a compilation sheets of all your assessments. It's going to be in one really neat place, and we're going to make sure you're on track based off your inner calling, your inner knowing, and the information from these assessments. So this is really, really awesome. That's why we're going to be a really huge resource for you. So feel free to put us on the list. Discipline, which means consistency. Again, this is examples. You don't have to write it, and you can. But in the future, when you're struggling or when you're doing awesome and you want to check in, we're going to take a look at, let's say you're struggling with something. What is your it's just going to give you an idea. Now, let us move on to obstacles. All right. So here's my question. While you're in peripheral vision and peripheral awareness, you can still see my hand moving while you're looking at the blue dot. You can still notice your ceiling and your floor and your walls while you're looking at your computer, your iPad, or your laptop, or your tablet. So this is really interesting, and this is really important. It's the most important part of the training so far. When these problems are no longer a problem for you, right? We've completely cleared them, healed them, upgraded, solved them. And you're living this way, right? You're living the way that you want. You made it. Like you're making it, you're made it. And you have your internal and external resources that you utilized to get there. What is the very first thing that comes up when I ask you, what is stopping you? Who or what is blocking you, stopping you, preventing you from having everything you want right now? First thing, write it down. I'll give you a second, and I'll give you four common things. Again, feel free to pause it, because I don't want to be talking over your intuition and your receptivity time. So it's really important. I'm holding space for you this whole time. And if you paused it and you've played it again, here are the top common things of obstacles for anybody. Number one is usually myself or me. So what does that mean? Well, all of you is not in alignment with what you want, because if we were, then you would have it. So, but all of you is also not in alignment. There's a part of you that's me. It's going to be a younger part. It's going to be a part that's not connected to your resources, guaranteed. So that's something we'll talk about. Another common one, this is really important, because if you're going to be successful, you need to put yourself in an environment for success. This is what we've learned. This is what we've done. That means Amanda and I, to get to our point, we had to let go of past relationships to be in the relationship we are together. We had to let go of old friends to get to better ones. We do have friends over the years, but I'm giving you an example. We had to move. We were living in a city, in a state that was not nurturing, fulfilling to our life's purpose anymore. It was when it wasn't, and then it wasn't when it wasn't. So there's a lot of things that need to shift, but sometimes I wrote my spouse, but it could be boyfriend, could be girlfriend, could be husband, wife, life partner, however you want to choose to define it. You really want to make sure you're partnering up in a relationship, because you want people to support you. We're going to support you, but really if you build your life around people that support you and you can support, that is the best life. But it's not given. You have to actually earn it. You actually have to do something up for it. So just check in to see if the person that your closest person to you is supporting you, is either propelling you toward your dreams or holding you back from them. It's a legitimate concern or thing to look at. Now, the third one I have is my programs. What does my programs mean? Like my beliefs, my limiting beliefs, my familial patterns. Like well, here's what I know about you. I know that, contrary to popular belief or contrary to what you might have thought, you are not the black sheep of your family, you're the white sheep of your family. You are the first one that is standing up and choosing to break through the karmic, the familial patterns that nobody in your ancestors has done so far. And it's not easy. We've done it. We're continuing to do it. We're continuing to find more people to be able to help them to do it as well. It's so much easier when you team up. So we know that about you, and it's not easy, and you have some programs, guaranteed, we all do, inherited from either our parents when we were really young, our school system, the belief systems, maybe religion, certain things that's no longer serving you or needs an upgrade. Just like the shoes and the clothes you had when you were a kid, you need to get new shoes and clothes now. Otherwise, your feet are gonna be hurting pretty bad. So I know that about you. I know there are some programs that need to be upgraded. You know that because we talked about this. And that's why we get really heavily into the mindset at the beginning of this program. So we want to upgrade it to give you the most efficient track possible. The fourth one, common, but I want you to write what came up for you, is my family. Well, what does that mean? Are you living, it could be spouse, but it could be my parents, could be my brother, my sisters, my siblings, could be my cousins, whatever. Are the people in your life is what I'm getting to. Is all of you in alignment supporting you? Yes or no? If yes, you probably would have this right now. If no, you probably would be right where you're at right now, and here it's time to team up. Is everybody in your family supporting you? If yes, awesome. If no, there needs to be some sort of upgrade. Is the place you're living supporting you? Now, I'm not saying you need to move, get divorced, and get rid of your family all today. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying we're doing an assessment, and you're peeling back or pulling back the curtains, and we're just going to see if where you're at and what's going on is supportive or not. And if it's not, it does need to be addressed. Your health needs to be really good value, your higher consciousness, and your support system. Makes sense. Okay. Great job so far. Getting exciting because we're getting to the next stage. I am going to go to red. Okay. Now we're going to do this. We did our outcomes, which is step number 7. We did our resources, which is 8. We got obstacles, which is 9. Now, step 10 out of 15, we're going to take a step back and we're going to do the long view. Whether that is on the easel or on your piece of paper. If you can put it on a piece of paper and stand up, that would be great. If you're in your easel, stand back. But I want you to look at, this is the current dashboard on some level of your life, and for sure your business and your practice. This is where you want to go. This is what you need to fuel and support it. This is the brakes, and this is the check engine light. So this is the direction, north, south, east, and west. This is the fuel. This is the brakes, and this is the check engine light. That's a good way to look at it for your journey, for this blueprint and this roadmap. So this is really neat because this is the whole picture. This is the whole mamma jamma, which is really, really exciting. I get excited about this because I know what's about to happen next. Sometimes when students or clients first start seeing this, they're like, oh my God, that's a lot. No, it's all in one place. And it actually feels better. It'll give you some relief by disassociating, getting it away from you. So here is step number 11. I only want you to focus on the left column. The left column is the upper left and lower left quadrant. Are we good? So out of the whole left side of your page or your paper, what I want you to do or ask your unconscious mind is, we're going to pick the top 3. There's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There happens to be 8. There might be 6. There might be 13 on yours. Who knows? You know. So out of the whole left column and all the different hashes, ask your unconscious mind to circle the top 3 issues, problems, and obstacles, right? Not 3 and 3, the top 3 of the whole left column that if you addressed, you cleared, got rid of first, it would take the other ones with it too. So that's what's really great about this style of coaching and really getting to the root cause. So I am going to say, if I was going to do it, I would say, in no particular order, myself. This is a guess. Now, I don't know what this is for you. Your unconscious mind knows. If you go into provision, you'll feel it. It would be pretty obvious. Trust yourself, trust your unconscious mind, trust your instincts. This is a total mock example. But this also goes from hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of times of doing this for clients. So I'm going to say myself. I'm going to say lack of confidence, and I'm going to explain this a little bit too. And then I'm going to say, I don't know how. These are the ones that I'm going to, when I'm coaching, I'm not guessing, I'm actually eliciting access to people's unconscious mind. So whatever the 3 is for you, it should feel really good. And I'll give you an example. If I was going to coach a client and we elicited this assessment, which I always do an assessment to start off, if they have a lack of confidence and then a fear of putting myself out there. Let me explain this to you. If we tackle this lack of confidence, we found the root of it, upgraded it, healed it, whatever, did what we need to do, so it's no longer a problem, miraculously, mysteriously, the fear of putting myself out there would not be there because they're related. So that's what this is all about. So here's the top 3 for this example. Lack of confidence. I don't know how to get to that next level. There's some sort of block. I don't even have it in my mental map. And then myself. Okay. Then we're on step number 12 out of 15. Out of the 3 circled in the entire left column, there's going to be probably some obstacles and some problems. Usually it's not all in one or the other. So we've got 2 in 1. Okay. Is there one of these 3 that if you worked with, you upgraded first, it would actually get rid of the rest of them? 90% of the time with this assessment, if you upgrade the one thing on this whole entire thing, it literally will take the other ones with it, which is so exciting. The other 10% of the time, there's multiple things. Maybe this is one thing and these are separate, or this is one and this one works with that one. That makes sense. But we don't have to, it's not traditional therapy, so we don't have to work 2 to 20 years to work on all this stuff. How long have you been struggling with this in your life and business? And it's whatever time you've been struggling with it, or if it's been a problem for you, there's no way relation to the amount of time it takes to get rid of it, because it wasn't a problem for you at one time and it won't be a problem for you very soon. So out of these 3, which one are we going to work on? So according to the unconscious mind, I would say myself. I'm going to put a star in this one, because I don't want to say here's the thinking, because the unconscious mind doesn't think, it knows, but here's the why. If the person goes to this myself and goes to the root of that, the lack of confidence is because of this younger part. I don't know how to. That's going to be a separate issue. I'm just going to say for this particular thing. So this would be one of those 10% times. So healing, connecting, upgrading this myself first. It's going to take care of this. It's going to take care of a lot of these things. It's going to take care of all of this. Then next we would work on that, or you'd work on that. So this is where we got down to. We got into the bullseye, the root cause of this assessment, which is the star, or the 2 of them for sure. Now, this is what the star is, what you first need to solve or dissolve in order to achieve your outcomes. And I know that you know that. I know you're feeling that because you can see it. It's pretty obvious to you. This is what's holding you back from achieving your greatness. Now, I don't want to be too confusing, because I didn't like it in the past when people tell me like, oh, you're holding yourself back. Well, if someone ever told me I'm holding myself back, I'm going to ask them, well, how specifically am I holding myself back? And if they're like, I don't know. Well, then I would say, don't tell me something if you don't know how to help me. So I'm not going to say if it's myself that you're holding yourself back. I will say that this part of you is holding back, and here's what we can do with it, right? So 14 is, what do we do with this now, right? We identify this. We know, I know, we know that's what's holding you back. So 14 is, number 1 is what to do with it. Well, do self-coaching. You are a coach. You do have skills. That is the first line of offense, I should say. The first line of attack, or the first strategy to move forward. First action step. Use your skill sets to the best of your ability to upgrade that. All right. Well, let's say that for whatever reason doesn't work. Number 2 is use your resources. So discipline, exercise, whatever, but you might actually have different people on there. Some people have coaches, some people have friends, some people have mentors. So use whatever's on your resource team. Do your best yourself, self-sufficiency, use your resources. And then finally, 3, we would want you to use those 2 before you do 3, but 3 is team wrangle, or write the question in during one of the weekly meetings that we have. Our weekly meetings, you write it in the type form and we got your back. But we're gonna ask you, what have you done first? What have you tried? Okay, cool. And then that's where we come in. So we want you to be as self-sufficient as possible, but we will also team up with you as well. Sound pretty cool so far? This is a really awesome process, program. This is awesome life. Okay, now 15 and final. Use this 4-quadrant P.O.R.O assessment. Model any time for yourself whenever you need clarity in your life, in your business. Whenever you want to level up, you want to get to that next level, which I know you do, or when it's been more than 12 months. So if this is your first time, which I know it is, using this, let it not be your last. You can watch this recording, you can come back into it, you can pause it. The colors are going to be a little bit different next time. The words are going to be slightly different next time. And if it's a different area of business, it might be completely different, but these should be pretty much very close to the same. And different parts of you will do different things. But this is amazing technique. This is the foundation. This causes so much transformation, so much change because it gives you structure, gives you the big picture. It's step by step. You can see it all in front of you, and we are going to walk you every step of the way. This is the first 4-quadrant P.O.R.O assessment, and I'm so excited to hear your feedback and to hear what's going on with you, and I'm really looking forward to the next assessment as well.